Niddah Daf Samach Beis, if a woman finds a kesem, a stained blood on her garment, in order to remove the tumah, you must be toivel the garment in the mikvah. But before you do so, says the Mishnah, there's a very specific process that you need to take in order to remove the tumah, the dam, and in order to be mevatel it. You have to use 7 different detergents in a very specific order. You can't use all of them together. And between each one, you must rub each detergent into the beged 3 times. What are these 7 samanim? The first one is roik tafel, spit without a flavor. In other words, a person cannot eat that day. The second one is megrisen, which is split bean water. You remove the shell, you chew it in your mouth, and then use that as a detergent. The third one is meraglayim, urine, that's a couple of days old, maybe 3 days old, that's fermented, and it's an ammonia that acts as a detergent. The fourth one is nesa, which is alum. The fifth one is boiris, which is a haloi, which they translate as aloe vera. The sixth one is kamonia, which is saltwort. And the seventh one is ashlag, which those who travel say that you can find it within the pearls. Now, what happens if you don't go through this process? You jumped the gun, you were toivel the beged first, and then only afterwards you did the 7 samamanim. Well, it depends. If the stain is removed, you know you're dealing with dam, and therefore you must be toivel the beged again. But if the stain does not come off, then you're dealing with tseva, you're dealing with dye. According to some Rishonim, even in such a case, it requires a tefillah, but it's okay because you did the tefillah beforehand. There's another detergent called safon. Rashi says sabon, like soap. So if you use the sabon and it comes off the stain, it's still considered tseva because this sabon can take off a stain and it can take off dam. However, if you used 6 out of the 7 samamanim, and as the 7th one you used safon, the beged is still tameh because perhaps had you used the 7th one, you would have proven to yourself that you're dealing with dam and you just don't know. Now, there's a list of added items that they added for Hilcha Shemitah. And as you see in the list, there's chalvitzin, oinin, boiris, and ahal. Now, the Gemara tried to say that boiris is in fact sulfur, which is a mineral. Says the Gemara, can't be. Because why would they add a mineral to Hilcha Shemitah? How could you not deal with minerals? In order to be over on Shemitah, it has to be something that has a root, and minerals don't have roots. Therefore, they say that boiris is also a type of aloe. And there's 2 types of aloe. There's the aloe vera, and then there's the one that you see, soap wort. It's a different type, the pink flower. Says the Gemara, a tremendous chiddush. It's one of the most difficult Gemaras in Masechtas Niddah to understand. The Gemara says that if a person washed his clothing with 7 samamanim one time, and they didn't come off, the stain didn't come off, and then he washed it a second time, says the Gemara, an amazing chiddush. Any taharas that the person touched between the first cleaning and the second cleaning, or anything up to the second cleaning, is completely tar, because we established that we're not dealing with dam. Since the dam didn't come off, the stain didn't come off with the 7 detergents, as we said, we're dealing with a stain, dye, not with dam. However, once the person does a second cleaning, so he shows in his mind that he thinks that perhaps it's dam, that's why he's doing it a second time. Not only does he show that he did it in his mind, but he actually took action by cleaning it. He now converted this tseva, this dye, into dam. And now, from now on, this beged is metama. And the Gemara asks the obvious question: how in the world could you take dye and make it into dam just by thinking about it? And the Gemara answers, well, you see that you could take dam, that's midoraisa dam, vade dam, and nullify it, be mevatel it with your head. And therefore, you could create dam with your head. As I said, it's a tremendous chiddush, and the Rishonim discuss it at length. Now, because we're dealing with tuma blua, this is tuma that's swallowed within a garment. So we're going to go through the halachas of tuma blua. Anytime you have tuma that you can't see, it's swallowed, it's within another object, like blood in a garment, or, for instance, meraglayim or ziva in a piece of earthenware. So the halacha is as follows. If it's locked in and it can never come out, then according to everybody, it's not metama. If it could come out, if you could force it out, for instance, in our sugya, by using tzafin, by using soap, or when we're talking about earthenware, by putting it in the oven and heating it up so the heat causes it to come out, now we have a machlekes. If it's a type of thing that you want to come out, you're makbid that should come out, according to everybody, it'll be metama, the oven that it's in. But if you're not makbid, so it depends. If it's mashkim kalam, like you see in the list, the center, the red, anything that's like tears or blood from a wound, that's only metamim d'Rabbanan. So according to everybody, the tanner is tahar, because chachamim were makel in that. However, if within the earthenware you have a tumah chamura, like ziva, meraglayim, etc., so according to Rabbi Yochanan, it remains a tumah blua, since it's inside the piece of earthenware, it remains a tumah blua. But according to Rish Lakish, since it can come out, it's considered tumah. It's mitama, the oven. Rabbi Yochanan wanted to prove from our Mishnah. It says in our Mishnah that if you have a stain and you put it in the mikvah, and afterwards you used the 7 samamanim and didn't come out, it's considered seva. L'chayra, even though it's dam, it might be dam. There is a concern, there is a percentage that it might be blood that we're dealing with, and it's balua, it's within the clothing, and it could come out with force. You could force it out with the sabon, with safan. Nevertheless, you see that it's not metama. So Rish Lakish says, no, don't prove it from our Mishnah, because our Mishnah is dealing with a kesem, ksamim, amid the rabbanan, and they were mekel. So Rabbi Yochanan brings another ayah. Reb Chia says specifically that even in the deraisa blood, when we know that it's certain blood, not on a stain, certain blood, you can do the same thing. You use 7 manim, and if it doesn't come out, you know you're dealing with 7. Says Rish Lakish, an amazing thing. Reb Chia's Rebbe was Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah. So how come it's not in any Mishnah? If Rebbe didn't say it, how does Reb Chia know it? And in fact, Taisus points out that anytime Reb Chia says something in the Gemara, it has to be something that he heard from his Rebbe. It has to be something that's in a Mishnah Mefurish. And finally, the final raya for today, if a person has a revi'ez dam of a mace is metama like a aver of a mace. It's metama ba'oil. But if it's within a beged, absorbed in a beged, depends. If you could get it out in a wash, then it's metama the house in oil, with oil. But if it stays within the beged, it's tar. So what do you see? That even though it's balu in the beged, and even though you could perhaps take it out b'doichak through safan, nevertheless it's tar. So the Gemara answers, we're dealing with a new concept. We're dealing with dam tavusa. Dam tavusa is this blood that's matam is only dam that comes out of a dead person. But what if it came out from a person before he died? Well, it depends. If most of it, the roiv came out before he died, it's tar. If most of it came out after he died, it's tameh. But if we don't know, it's in between, so it's only matamim d'Rabbanan, and that's what we're dealing with here. A very weak type of revi'ez dam. Have a wonderful day.